Hello again, everybody. I am Justin Wells. You may have seen me before in other of the Meet the characters for this. I'm going to be running Vile Shadows and a Honeyed Smile on Tuesdays in December. It's a new campaign which I've written for D&D 5th edition, and I'm going to be doing that with Roll Together. Today we have David Shears with us, and we are going to be meeting and creating Aldryn Wheelwright, who is his character, who is a human cleric. And we're going to be using the wondrous magic of Hero Forge to do so. So, hello, David.
Hello, good morning.
How are you this fine morning?
I am very well. I'm quite excited. I didn't forewarn you that character creation is one of my favourite parts of any RPG or CRPG process, so I might get a bit invested.
I mean, I think it's everyone's, not gonna lie, character creation is always the best thing, because it's always like, oh, I've got this new character, they're gonna have this and this and this backstory, and then you play them and you're like, I want to make a new one.
This is true.
I'm an inveterate. I mean, it's very rare. I don't know if I've ever actually completed a Bethesda RPG. I get about halfway through, because it's always like levels 1 to 10 are always the best in those. Anyway, that's a different thing. The problem is that I either go one of two ways. I'm either like, ooh, I'm going to dip in and play for 10 levels and play something new, or I'm like, I will play this for 600 hours and finish every single bit, which is perhaps unhealthy. Anyway, so Aldryn is a human.
He is.
And masculine body type, so we'll riff on that. So this is the generic human. Have you used Hero Forge before?
This is my very first time. I'm very excited.
It's going to melt your brain. It's brilliant. So first thing is we can choose a facial type. So you have heroic features, sharp features, round features, gnomish features, elegant features, smooth features, bulbous features, heavy features, noble features, delicate features, bold features, gaunt features, damaged features, decomposing features. And those are all the kind of full humanoid faces, unless you want to look like a cat.
Lovely. I can rule out decomposing, hopefully, because he's not yet a lich, as far as I'm aware. Although it does look really cool. So, I mean, who knows? If it happens, it happens.
I mean, if you ignore the nose and the mouth, you get a lovely Peter Cushing vibe.
I suppose that's true. Can we have a look at sharp features, Justin?
Sharp.
He's a little bit. I'm not going to say evil, but a little bit on the grey side of the morality spectrum. Let's put it that way.
He's a grey lad. So we can also vary softness, which sort of, to an extent, works sort of mask to femme. Is there anything sort of? Do you want like super like chiseled jawline, a little bit softer?
I think I envisage Aldryn as being reasonably feminine, or at least not aggressively masculine.
Yeah, so if we kind of soften that out sort of to about, because there we start to lose the pointiness on the sort of some of the definition on the chin, which is and the cheekbones. So
I'm getting a really strong Peter Pan vibe, and I'm not hating it.
Yeah, I know, right? So there we go. We've got a kind of Peter Pan vibe there. How's that?
That's very nice.
Excellent. Ears, he has human ears. Hair. Now this might end up getting covered by a hat, but let's start by choosing some sort of hair.
Absolutely.
Anything grab you? Well, tell me what you have in mind.
So I think it would be reasonably, not on the excessively long sort of scale. I'm thinking something that's swept back away from the face, probably. Okay. I'd like to see if there's a sort of thinning professor hair, just to see what it looks like and if it fits the...
So we have Patrick Stewart hair. And then we also have receding hairline, but long. So that's... oh my God. That's uncanny. He looks exactly like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror. Unbelievable.
See, the problem is, if I selected that choice, I would not be able to get Riff Raff from Rocky Horror out of my head.
That would be all you'd be doing. That's astounding.
Can you scroll up for me, please? Mate? And I'll probably stop you on a couple. can rule out super long because I think it would get in the way of his particular adventuring. He's not cool enough to pull off the long hair, you know.
There's Shaggy.
That's not bad. That is pretty good.
Wild. Shaggy versus Wild.
So far, I'm feeling Shaggy.
Shaggy.
It wasn't me.
Oh, that's.
I need to choose the hair scoop. Groovy.
Curls.
Ooh, I don't hate shaggy curls. That's very Frodo.
Yeah, I was thinking it's very Frodo. Frodo.
Can we have a look at the one below the mohawk, please?
The one below the mohawk, swept back.
That's not terrible. I like that, but it is a bit too cool for him, possibly.
Yeah, bedhead.
That's not bad either. I'm quite a fan. So far, I think Shaggy is winning in my mind because Shaggy looked very cool for the character, but Bedhead does look. Yeah, I think it's got to be. It's got to be, mate.
Got to be Shag.
Growing up on a farm, that's a nice peasant haircut.
Oh yes, good old peasant haircut. Does he have a beard?
He'd certainly like to be able to grow a beard. Let's have a look and see if it looks like it would suit him. Might make him too wise. That's my theory.
Does it have a moustache? Does he smoke a pipe? 2 pipes. It's up to you.
I love the youthful face with the mutton chops.
Yeah, exactly.
The goatee's not bad, you know.
Yeah.
I always think that goatees look good because I used to wear one for several years, and I didn't look quite as cool as I thought, but he looks all right.
Okay.
Very nice.
Little chin warmer.
Oh, that looks about, but that to me, and tell me if you agree, looks very Bard.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was thinking more like satyr.
Oh yes,
satyr. I never know.
It just points I'd say satyr, but I'm pretty sure it's the American, and that's
yeah.
Seen Hercules, and it's in my mind.
I think it's in classical Greek, so satyr, satyr.
Can I see the one just to the right of that, please?
407 years ago.
I have been adventuring.
That's the full Amish.
That's Deckard Cain meets Elminster. I think it's very very cool.
That's a bit of a lesser chin strap.
It would be either the goatee, or the satyr, or clean shaven. I think clean shaven would make the most sense. The goatee, I think, looks too much like he is trying to wear a disguise and blend in somewhere. I think he looks too youthful to get away with. I mean, I'm tempted. I'm seriously tempted, but I'm not sure the character would forgive me.
Looks like the sorcerer in Fantasia, you know, in the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
This is the problem when something looks really cool, and I have to think: is the character themselves cool enough to pull it off?
Yeah, exactly.
It's between chin strap and clean shaven, my friend. That's between.
I think the advantage of the chin strap, in terms of if you're saying that your character is not very cool, is that it looks like it's a kind of affectation to sort of hide a weak chin, whereas this is very like, I am chiseled and beautiful. And now whether or not he has a weak chin, I think it's psychologically illuminating if he has that.
I absolutely agree with you, and I see that point. And let's go with it. Let's lock it down.
Lock it down. Eyebrows. So big. How old is he?
He is about 26.
Okay, so he's not going to have like big old bushy eyebrows.
So mid to late 20s.
Monobrow? Let's just go with eyebrows. Eyes, and I think that's it for that. So that's that. We now have the body. Does he have one arm or any prosthetics? No
prosthetics. He is definitely on the skinny side though, so he won't be looking too hench.
How tall?
About 5'8".
5'8".
On the shorter side.
Head, yeah, that's good. Does he have much in the way of body fat?
He's very lean.
Very lean.
Quite svelte.
Small. And he's strength 8, so kind of quite slender, low musculature. So he's a skinny
I think probably towards the lower end of the scale, but slightly on the scale, because that looks quite halfling to me.
Yeah, so let's have a little bit more.
Like, because his dex is quite high, so I'm assuming that he does exercise and move. It's just the natural strength and the natural fitness isn't there.
I see.
They're quite sinewy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So if we just bump the muscularity up a little bit, that makes him look a bit more sinewy.
Just a bit more defined. Like that sort of the skinny six pack that I used to have back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in those days that no one can verify, but definitely happened.
Absolutely, they were definitely there. I promise. I mean, they're definitely there. There we go. How's that? That's kind of so. That's not now skinny rather than gaunt. Doesn't have wings, tail, or a shell. So let's move on to clothing. Does he wear?
Unfortunately,
tragically, the old turtle druid is not going to be. Was it druid or shaman? I can't remember.
If you want to introduce a shell curse to the game, Justin, I just want you to know I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
But it's when you get too far ahead. There's this strange blue shell. So what do we think? Does he wear a hat or a helm?
A hood would be the most likely.
Hood. So we have multiple hoods. We have plain hood.
Because I don't want to give the game away, but there may or may not be some slightly shadowy business going on.
Oh, shady lad.
Although on the other hand, we've done a lot of nice work with the hair and the beard, so we'll see.
So we have plain hood.
Cowls, yeah.
Cowl. Shadowy hood. Wide hood. Droopy hood. Torn hood. Long pointed hood.
Ooh. Interesting. Can you just scroll down, and I want to try a couple of helms as well. Just see what the helms are. One of these very, very simple kind of medieval. And just below that, please.
Half helm. Then there's the studded leather helm, which is
that studded leather helm of all the helms would be the most suited for him.
Just a riff. We have a kettle helmet.
Ooh.
Very kind of early 14th century, late 13th century.
It looks very defensible and very cool, but I'm not entirely sure that his tiny frame could support the weight of it.
So the studded leather helm, a sallet. We have a kind of plain peasant's coif. Or we could have, I think there is an open-faced sallet there. That kind of vibe. Plain open. That
open-faced salad is very much riffing on the previous turtle theme. I like it.
Oh yeah. So what do you think? Do you prefer the open-faced sallet, or open-visored sallet, or would you rather have the sort of plain Spangen helm type?
So once again, it's between three choices. Although I do like that. Again, I think it makes him look too heroic. So I think it's between. This looks like someone who put on the helmet, was like, okay, I'm gonna go do some adventuring, and then just kept it because they thought it was lucky. I like it. Can we also just have a quick? So it's between this, one of the cowls, and hatless, just simply because I really like the work that we did with the hair, and I think it really suits the character. So I'm not sure whether I'd be willing to entirely lose it.
So I guess the thing with this helmet is you can still see the hair.
Yeah.
Whereas the cowls and the hoods completely cover it.
Yeah. Can you show me with studded leather helmet and without? Yeah, I think we need that. I think we need the helmet. He is, after all, a cleric.
Yeah, so he needs to protect his head from bonking. There we go. Okay. Does he have pauldrons? As we all know, the surest way to show how important you are in a party or in a fictional setting is by the size of your pauldrons and the size of your helmet.
This was my approach to WoW, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Always. You just need big pauldrons. The thing there is that obviously, main characters in films don't wear helmets because we sympathise with people who don't wear helmets. That's why stormtroopers have faceless helmets, because it makes us feel less bad when we see them get mowed down. Also, certain corners of the internet have showed me, I have no idea whether that's verifiable. It's probably a load of shit.
I'm going to trust you. You have an authoritative voice.
Last strikes again. So what do we think? Is he a pauldrony lad?
If he's a pauldrony lad, it's going to be some leather business.
Yeah, I guess the thing is that we can paint them however we like. Are you seeing more kind of rough leather, or decorated leather, or simple leather?
I mean, I'll tell you right now for nothing. The color scheme that I have in mind is going to involve some elements of red and black. That's kind of his, nice. And probably some greys just to blend it in there.
Edge Master General.
Yeah, if he's going to be edging, he'll be doing it in a funny way. I guarantee you that.
No, that's all good. I'm very happy with. Sorry, I don't mean to be like, that character you've made, it's rubbish. I hate it.
Justin, what's he going to do? Not obey the dress code at work? Come on.
Bring your evil cleric to work day.
I mean, evil is a matter of
evil is a strong term. I prefer ethically challenged.
I prefer differently good. Can we have a look at
question of good for whom?
Just below, there was one that was called shoulder armor. If you just scroll up, I think it's one above.
Oh yes, there was like a basic.
Yeah, that'll give us a nice little base.
And remember that we can adjust these pauldrons up and down if we care to.
Lovely.
If you want them, because currently he's like, look at my shoulders.
Yes, they're very much like it's the 1980s, and he's aware that he doesn't have many muscles and is just trying to make himself look more imposing and masculine.
Yeah.
To be fair, is a thing he might do. So.
Yeah, with the chin strap, I think that like overcompensating shoulder pads and the chin strap and the beard to hide the weak chin that no one actually cares about.
This is very much So this is very much the essence of the character. They care so much more about what other people think of them than other people even notice that they're there.
Yeah.
Unless they are.
That's so sad.
Yeah. This is why I don't want to give the game away, but this is why their core personality is not always on display, because they're very self-conscious. And
bless.
Can you tell I'm already trying to humanize my evil character?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to build some sympathy before the game.
Woven wool hose. Chest. What clothing would you like?
Leathery armory, please.
Leathery armory.
I wish he was cool enough to pull off a swashbuckler's coat. I really do.
This is the kind of thing where he wore it for like a week in high school, and like no one bullied him about it, but no one really paid attention to it. And then he ended up going online and writing extensively about how,
Bolo's blog.
So that's kind of plain jerkin. If we want the leathery armor, we have stealth leather. Those are for femme body types. Hide, studded leather. There's also brigandine if you want to go rogue. Rogue as in like a rogue choice rather than rogue as in I am a rogue.
I was going to say I'd have to re-roll a lot of things.
Yeah, I'd have to re-roll a lot of things.
Don't make me roll in this game, Justin. It's not about rolling things.
Disgusting. I mean, if you want to go for something more medieval, you could go for like a gambazon.
Ooh, I tell you what, I do not hate that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's an underused aesthetic as well.
Rather nice.
One of the most significant armor types of the period, and very underused.
I feel like we should. So you know, this may mean that we need to revisit the shoulder situation, but don't panic just yet, because we're locking in Gambazon, my friend. We're locking in Gambazon.
Gloves. So there are in fact some Gambazon gloves, which are here. But if you don't want to go the full Gambazon, there are a whole range of other things, ranging from leather braces to kind of simple gloves to kind of cool braces or full gauntlets. What did you have in mind? And then I'll try and look for them.
Yeah, I saw something that came up that said leather wristband or leather braces or something like that. Did we have a look at that?
That? Just a kind of simple...
Yeah. Just a simple kind of, here's my Gambazon. You don't want to lose grip on your weapon and with your holy symbol or your shield. Nice to keep the hands free potentially. If you could scroll down for me from the top, and I'll stop you when I see something that. So these thief's leather gloves. So they would be very very slender. Below that. Yeah. Okay. I am thinking maybe more sort of the braces or the wraps or the sort of that side of the thing, so that the hands are left free.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Aldryn would enjoy painting his nails if he got the opportunity. Although obviously maybe not when adventuring, but when you have a nice bit of downtime,
have a little bit of time,
bit of gold, chance to be
enamel.
Yeah.
So that's some studded leather. Which is sort of slightly more upmarket version of the ones earlier.
That's
the plain bracer.
Ooh, that is also rather nice, to be fair.
I believe that lower arm armor was called cannons, which I think is where the term for the bang cannon came from, because it looked like it, but I might be incorrect. Because there's like a million different names. You've got like the bracer, the rarer bracer, folds, and all that stuff. Bezogu. They're just so lovely to say.
Don't overwhelm me with nomenclature. We're doing hosiery.
Welcome to my game. So we have. It's all it's going to be. It's just me being like, this is called this. Justin, can we play? We'll play when I say we can play.
Everyone needs to read their dictionaries now.
Dictionary now.
Can we? I like
read the venerable bead.
I enjoyed the studded leather that was the slightly flashy bracer. There's a nice little kind of you'll be able to tell me what this is called, I'm sure. But you see the little knob on the pauldrons and the little knob on the bracers. I like this kind of knob consistency.
I think it's. I think they're intended to be rivets.
Rivets. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So this is a splinted armor, just to go for a slightly different vibe. Splinted.
Yeah. This I like because it offsets the gambeson.
Yeah, with
in a way
chunkier.
And it's again like a lot of this theme for what we've chosen so far. What I really like is that it's seemingly all designed to make him look more buff than he actually is.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. So just a final choice: studded leather, or splint.
Oh, it's got to be the splint, I think.
Yeah. Interesting enough, I don't believe that studded leather was actually a real armor type. I think it was it's a misunderstanding of how what's called a brigandine or a jack of plates worked, or a coat of plates, which is essentially leather or cloth fronting with plates that are bolted on the inside, and the rivets stick out. And so it's actually flexible metal armor, but because the outside is leather or cloth, it looks like leather armor. So this is what I spent my youth reading up about.
It's the opposite of chainmail, which was laid over the leather. Precisely
laid over it. So flipping things around, as I'm sure we all know, medieval armor is in fact a complex composite of different materials, never one thing. It's why you never wear chainmail with nothing underneath it, because you end up getting a shitload of like hard metal rings just smashed into your flesh. And so it's like, oh, I didn't get cut. I'm full of metal still, but I didn't get cut. It's also, I don't think it's very good at, it's quite good at transmitting force as well, so you need padding. Anyway, this is a different topic entirely.
That's why whenever I'm at my forge making my own armor, I'm always very conscious of that, Justin.
Absolutely.
It's the first top of mind.
Oh, it's top of the mind. Top of the mind is, am I going to wear my padded acketon underneath my mail? Again, chainmail, Victorian term. It's actually mail, comes from the French word for net. Chainmail is a misnomer. This is the kind of content that you can all look forward to in this, is of me being an unbearable pedant. I promise I won't in-game. I promise. Unless somebody fires an arrow instead of shoots it, in which case I'll rage because. Well,
I can't speak for anyone else, Justin, but I'm all about it. I enjoy. That's
one person. Just a flurry of people being like, "No, we're not going to watch this. This guy's."
So about that inspiration that I start the game with.
I don't play favourites until I do. So, I mean, if we want to go for the full Gambazon look, we've got Gambazon legwear. If you fancy mixing it up a bit, I'm very happy to. What do you think?
I think that's a solid base. Well, let's have a little play and see what's out there.
So we have various kind of breeches and sort of more heavily armoured things. So like sort of sort of, strappy things and plates and curved leather and whatnot, sort of elven legwear, or even like a kind of kilt or a skirt, if you fancied going kind of Roman or Celtic or something. Or
I don't. Yeah, I'm not against a little bit of the sort of Roman Greek hoplite kind of action going on here. Yeah, just got to make sure that we have consistency of style and pattern.
Yeah, nice. Peruges.
Unless you're going super eclectic.
Chef's whites, distressed, or an aquatic wrap if we want to go for. Ooh, that's kind of gross.
Sometimes I have to leave the spa and go adventuring.
Yeah, precisely.
It's not the best look for him necessarily. Loincloth.
Just completely disconnected from top to bottom.
I just forgot to dress this morning. What can I
just
tell you?
forgot to dress. Just got halfway through donning the armor.
Can I ask you to just scroll down from top to bottom, just reasonably slowly, and I'll stop you. It's not going to be one of the chunky ones, to be fair. Can you stop there? Top left. That's just plain trousers. And then row below on the right, please. And to the right of that. That's not bad, It's that middle one. That we'll keep that as an option. One just below, directly below, and to the right. Yeah, that's option
matched,
2.
That's the matched set.
Yeah, let's say that's option 2, and then we're looking at some potential.
So option
kiltage.
1, option 2.
Yeah, and then we're looking at some potential kiltage. Can you go 3 rows down and then far left for me, please? No, it doesn't quite work for this character. One below. See, the thing is with the pattern of the gambeson is very distinctive.
That's the thing, is it's so strong.
So I'm trying, you can obviously block patterns, but you generally speaking need to have quite a strong belt statement going on there.
Yeah.
And this is from having a sister that works in fashion, even though I probably got entirely wrong. So it's all right. She won't be watching this.
In the Twitch chat.
I told you before. It's a sash, not a belt. Sure.
So there's the brigandine.
That's not bad either. I think. Oh, just 2 below that, please. Directly 2 below.
Some nice Korean armor. Joseon Dynasty brigandine armor.
That is very much. I would love to be a samurai, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, obviously Koreans aren't samurais. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's just the subliminal consciousness of this style of armor take. I think what we're going to have to do, mate, is go for the full gambeson. Now, I'm not someone who would normally.
Full gambeson.
I wouldn't normally turn up to a transmog wearing a full set, but on this occasion, I think we're going to have to. Yeah. It fits the bill because at the end of the day, it would be a set of armor that would look probably quite matched, especially if it's the armor that I might have.
Right, feet. Footsies.
Serious footage.
Brigandine, I think, is the origin of the term brigand as well.
That would make sense. That would make sense. I mean, these would be quite well outfitted assailants then. In that respect.
Yeah, well, usually what they were demobilized soldiers who were basically like fuck going back to it was I think they were called Écorcheur and Routier. Basically, the 100 Years' War being an absolute nightmare hell war, even by the standards of the medieval period. You basically had a shitload of mercenaries that were taken over into. They were either French dudes who were like, well, I'm going to be a soldier, or English, or like Italians, or Spanish or Germans or whatever, and they're basically just largely English and French, I think, and they'd turn up and then they get demobilized and they'd be so used to making a shitload of money from looting that they'd be like, well, I'm not going to go back and be a peasant, I am just going to raid and pillage. And sometimes they would all be quite well equipped and very well trained, and they would sometimes actually successfully besiege towns. And so there were places that were like held to ransom. I don't know if anywhere kind of set themselves up as rulers as you got on the Italian peninsula during those wars, but you certainly it was unbelievable the shit that went on.
That's also where transferable skills comes from as a phrase.
Really?
No, but it should be.
You got me. What were you thinking boot-wise? Something more armored or something more simple?
I think something that's quite a chunky, stridey boot. God has a lot of walking, but definitely the leather side of things. It wouldn't be like I'm not going to have mail anywhere else, but I'm going to make sure my boots are bedecked.
So those are fairly tonk. And then we've got we've got buckled boots. We've got big buckly boots. We have riding boots, cuffed boots.
Ooh, I like those.
Yeah, I think they look kind of very practical and sort of.
Yes, you can fight in them, but you can also move with a degree of stealth should you need to.
Yeah, and then we have worn boots for slightly simpler. Ooh.
I've been on the road. I've the itinerant is it?
I think it's itinerant.
Yeah.
And then we have tall boots as well, if we want sort of look like he's going to be wading through mud or something.
Definitely not cool enough to pull off tall boots. Or sexy enough, to be fair.
In his mind.
Oh yeah, in his mind.
In his mind.
Ankle length leather coats are still on point.
So those are the worn boots. So worn boots?
I think the worn boots or the cuffed boots. The cuffed boots. I think he's a reasonably successful adventurer. By this point in his adventuring career, he would probably be able to afford decent, workman-like boots. I think that's a fair. If he was starting out at level 1, I'd say worn boots all the way. But we'll give him credit for having managed to obtain some boots over the course of his career.
Indeed, yeah. If nothing else, has a pair of boots.
He's paying into the boot plan from level 1. It accrues. Shoemakers all across.
I love that idea of like being employed as an adventurer and being like, instead of dental, you get like boot. So equipment-wise, has a rapier. Do you wish him to be wielding the rapier or have the rapier stowed?
I think if we can look at having the rapier wielded, because I quite like the idea of it having that sort of is it called glamdring and orchris and those are the shiny blades.
Well, we can give it glow as well in the colour.
Then you've sold me on this. Why didn't you say that first, and then we would have saved ourselves at least 20 seconds?
Because we need to make content.
Yeah. Well, look, there's a lot of rapier posed choices. Come on.
Absolutely, indeed. Once again, I always default to right hand because I myself am right-handed. What is his handedness situation?
I think left-handed would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
If it's helpful, and we want to go through it, he is also proficient in short swords, scimitar, and heavy crossbow. And I will leave it to anyone watching this to decide why that might be.
I think I know. I mean, I've seen the character sheet. Now I'm being like, is that a character? Is that like I know the mechanical reason. Now I'm like, what's the character reason?
Oh well, this will be. See, again, I'm quite proud of the work I put into the bio, but again, I don't want to reveal too much. But you will have that information, so you'll be able to see it, and then possibly later on contact me and say, "Come on, David, what's this character?"
What the shit, man? What the fuck?
I mean, an extreme reaction, but nonetheless.
So has a skilder. A shield. What kind of is that going to be on the back or on the hand?
I think the shield. Well, let's see what we're cooking with in terms of shields, and then we'll be able to make that call.
And we also have, if you want, we have the option of him having a holy symbol or a spell effect, or I mean, there is an unbelievable volume of stuff. If you want him like holding forth his holy symbol, you can have that. Or if you want him with like magic emanating from his hand, we can have that. We can run the shield on the back. But let's go through. So we have tower shield.
I'm so excited. Can't even tell you.
Right, I spent days on this. I mean, all of these have massively run over time because I'm just like, press the buttons, Justin.
Hey, look, you can't rush these things. This is something that's being made to be a permanent thing. You don't want to be like, oh, I wish I'd put my shield on my back. Come on.
Exactly.
We have the opportunity now. to eradicate
we
that
can
mistake.
do it now. Eradicate. That's a strong. Eradicate the mistake.
Did I mention evil?
Evil. So we have elegant shield, a targe shield, a damaged targe shield, plain heater shield. That's a modern shield.
Mm-hmm.
A royal shield, a kite shield, a buckler, dwarfen shield, elven leaf shield, elven shield. Scutum shield, shell shield, hoplon or an aspis, lenticular shield, barely functional wooden shield, crystal shield, dragon shield, birdwing shield, eagle shield, spiky shield, thrakes shield, palmer shield. And those are future shields. Anything there really hurl itself into your face.
Looking for something reasonably snazzy. At this point in time, I would say probably the kite or the heater shield would be. I mean, I'd love to say dragon shield. You know, I'd love to say dragon shield. I know I'd love to say dragon shield, but we have to limit ourselves at times to the coolness factor of the actual character themselves.
So that's a heater shield.
Nice.
And this is the kite shield.
Very nice. Can I see the one just directly above that as well, please?
The royal shield.
Ooh, see, it is quite a snazzy shield, potentially. subject to negotiations. Do you know what? I'm gonna phone a friend on this one. Do you knowing the character as I've described them, of those three? I mean, obviously, I'm going to make the decision. Don't you worry about that.
I mean, I think they're all legit. I personally I think because the rest of the armor, if we put the rapier to one side, the rest of the armor has a kind of nice early medieval feel.
Yes.
The kite shield does give it a kind of nice, faintly sort of Anglo-Norman vibe, which is kind of fun because that's relatively usually a lot of fantasy at the moment is kind of very focused on like late 14th, 15th century look.
Yes.
So going for an early medieval look is just something that sets you apart slightly.
This is now feeling to me, and I'm loving it all the way. It's very Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, like there's a strong kind of Saxony vibe.
It's also like what were they called? The Genevan. Obviously, they would have had tower shields, but I'm still getting this vibe. The Genevan crossbowmen from like medieval Total War.
Yeah. The Genoese, yeah. So
Genoans. Sorry, Genoese. Yeah, not from Geneva. Just very different geographical locations.
Most likely during the period of the Genoese crossbowmen be pikemen or halberdiers in Switzerland.
I mean, if it's not Byzantine, mate, I'll be honest, I don't know.
I'm out of culture.
I mean, this shield's going on the back, for sure.
Where are my furoi? Shield on the back.
He could be one of the Varangian Guard, or Varangian, or however you would want to pronounce it.
Spicy. Well, let's. I mean, if we two shields, so let's bung the shield on the back.
All of the shields. Please.
All of the shields. Just a shield in both.
I have
hands.
An AC of 4,000, but I cannot move.
A shield on the back and two there, and just spin.
It's a tactic.
Yeah, it's a tactic.
I mean, let's ask.
Elite tactics. So if you don't want the shield in the hand, let's drop that on the right.
Oh yes.
And then you said you were thinking like a holy symbol or a spell effect or a lamp or something.
I mean, I have to see them. I have to see them, mate.
Yes. So these are the spell effects. We've got it's sort of very much this sort of vibe.
Ooh.
It's kind of that sort of thing.
It's a nice kind of air genasi thing that was going on there. I like it.
And then under Misk, we have sort of, amulets, campaign for I don't know, lich disarmament.
I mean,
various amulet-y type things.
Liches deserve the chance to be heard. What do we want? All destruction of the world and almighty power. When do we want it? At some point we're immortal.
What do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? It's irrelevant. Uh,
Is that American football?
what? Yes, I believe so.
Amazing. That takes me back to my college days.
Did you play American football?
I did.
Ah.
Back in the day. When I could run and move.
When I could run. Do any of those kind of hurl themselves?
Spell effect with the skull, mate.
Spell effect with
going to be
the skull.
And in my mind, I'm imagining that as inflict wounds or something.
Right. So we have skull, or we have flaming skull effect. So we have like launching a skull, or we have holding a skull. You could also actually be literally holding a skull if you want to be literally holding a skull.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well. I mean, he is enough of an edgelord to be Hamlet.
Yeah.
This is true.
We also have familiars there. I'm approximately.
I'm not familiar with those. I do apologise. Please take that out in the edit.
Yeah.
I've just lost all the goodwill that I built up.
We're going to leave it in, and we're going to play it whenever I do something wantonly vindictive. There we have holding a skull.
Ooh, that looks incredibly cool, but without having some sort of skull artifact or reason to have a skull, I'd feel very. I'm trying to be honest here, mate. I'm trying to go for what works for the character rather than just what I think looks badass.
Coward.
I mean, come on, man. I could create a mini with like full plate armor, and then the game starts, and it's like I don my leather. I put on my floppy hat. I suppose it's a shame that we don't have a kind of. Oh, it'd be cool if we could stick like a Darkest Dungeon candle on there. But let's go with the skull spell effect. That seems better. Throwing it, mate. Throwing it, please. Toll of the Dead.
Sorry.
Throwing the skull, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Casting Toll of the Dead.
Clong.
Which is hopefully a spell that I remember to put on my character sheet.
Do we want a cape?
Do we want a cape?
Or a backpack? Oh, that does weird things with a shield.
I mean, we'll assume that when he posed for this statue to be made, that he'd put his backpack to the side, conscious of the fact that he wanted to look cool.
Absolutely.
Cape, maybe. I mean, let's have a look at the names of these, because that will give me a bit.
Cape, tattered cape, animal skin cloak, slim cape, short ragged cape, short cape, furry cloak, tri cape.
And you slim cape me, please.
There's the slim cape.
I don't think that he's a cape kind of guy, because I think capes, when you're trying to do shadowy stuff, he doesn't have a vuvuzela. What can you do?
Cannot be having with it.
It's probably pronounced vuvuzela or something. I don't know. I don't know. I was only introduced to vuvuzelas with the World Cup.
Yeah, like me likewise. And they were apparently deafening people.
Apparently so. I mean, that is some sonic potency. Which was the name of my band in high school.
I think you're going to say that was going to be like the next Sonic game. Sonic's been having some trouble in his relationship.
The help of Tails. Anyway.
Abide with me.
Skull effect, mate. Can we have the Chucky one?
Sorry. I thought you were doing a bit. I didn't realize you were actually asking for something. There we go. No eye patches, no edgy kind of masks or a stogie. Any rings or piercings?
Ooh, I think probably. Maybe some piercings, but I don't know. You wouldn't be able to see the ears probably, unless he's got like a tongue, lip piercing.
You can see the ears.
Let's play with the old rings and piercings.
Mm-hmm. So rings wise, I guess this is the easiest place to see the hands from. What are you thinking ring wise? We can choose any finger, and there are 3 types of ring. I would say that ring on the left looks like a signet ring choice. Is that?
Yeah, broadly. Would he have? probably would have a ring that was like a secret symbol of the order or something, or would mean something to other people who saw it, but would otherwise look like just a ring.
Which finger do you think he'd wear that on?
Signet ring is traditionally worn on the pinky, I believe.
Well, pinky on the right or the left hand?
This will be. I mean, he's left hand dominant. Well, probably ambidextrous, to be fair. Although he doesn't have a feat that says he is. So maybe not. Let's say it will be on the right hand, because otherwise it might impede the graspage of the weaponries. Exactly.
Nice way to get your finger ripped off as well. So there we go.
Fantastic.
And piercings wise, so we can have, I don't think we're going to see any upper ear piercings, but we'll just about be able to see lower ear piercings and any nasal piercings if you care for them.
Let's have some lower ear business. I think nasal probably not, but again, he has been adventuring a bit and got to show off some bling if you're going to have the blingerage.
Does he have the confidence to do it though?
That's the thing. That is the thing. If he'd been encouraged to do it by one particular person, he might have got it done. They might have done that traditional thing where they pierced each other's ears back in the day, and then had to get a cleric to heal the infection.
Instead, I totally forgot to say, we can, if you want, have only one pauldron and only one earring. But yes.
I think one pauldron might work. Earrings, let's say no, because I think it's going to be a bit too fiddly.
Okay.
He can always have the option in his downtime of putting them in, but for this particular day, he's like, I want to accentuate my flowing locks.
So which shoulder do you want the pauldron on? It would make sense to have it on his main hand to protect, because if he has is protected by the shield.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's my first asymmetrical clothing.
Yeah. When your main hand is also a main gauche. Medieval weaponry. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put on my anorak.
I was popular as a child. Side items. Does he have any side items like weapons or pouches or books or scrolls or potions?
Potions would make sense. Scrolls would make sense. If there was holy symbol would probably be on the shield or an amulet.
How does that look?
That looks rather cool, I gotta say.
Badass. And
he's probably got a dagger strapped to his thigh because, he thought it was cool and then inadvertently stabbed himself one evening and then learnt about dagger safety being very important. Be safe with your daggers.
We've all learned an important lesson today. So we are going to have a base because he's going to be stuck on a little plaque kind of thing, because I think these use as initiative markers, I believe. Now we get to the bit. Now, we've already taken a while, but now we get to the bit that's going to take a real while.
Sorry, buddy, you can't rush these things.
No. That wasn't targeted at you. That was targeted at me.
Well, to be fair, 20 minutes of this was historical segues, but I enjoyed them. I was there for them.
Crush up character creation and snort it. I don't know. Ooh, we might need to edit that. I'm just gonna.
I wouldn't inhale plastic. It would be bad.
We can edit that if we need to. That was me holding up the edit sign.
Do you want to do a pickup from what you said?
I can't remember where we picked up. We'll probably be able to just
something about you can't rush character creation.
All right.
You can't rush character creation, can you?
No, you can't rush character creation. There's nothing to see here. Pose-wise, what are you imagining for a pose? So I think, is he kind of being like, I'm going to stand here? Is he like fencing while zapping? Is he zapping while holding the sword down? What do you reckon?
I like the idea of fencing while zapping or zapping, because, at the end of the day, even if you might not be as cool as you would like in everyday life, you're going to pose for a statue. You're going to have an artist there. They're going to be like, do this. It looks more heroic, so that we can justify a little bit of badassery.
Okay. And in terms of the fencing while zapping, do you see it as like sword in front with the zap coming in from behind or alongside? Whoops, just straight to the camera there. Alongside, or is it like sword back, arm in front, like a sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi vibe?
I think because he's not going to be led by the sword in terms of that wouldn't be his. The most likely method of attack would be spells. Okay. I think so. Let's have a look at. Oh yes. Oh, you. I mean, sorry, mate. I know we have to make content, but I think you've hit it. I think
that's the lad. So what we can do? So the first thing we need to do is do his face. So what's his face?
Ooh. Show me cocky. That is exactly what he would think cool looked like. I love it.
He would do it. So every single photo he was in, he would do. He's such a hoverhander as well. I think this is a hoverhander. You know, in photos where they like don't touch people they're hugging. They're like hovering. Oh,
I can see that.
Do you want the mouth open or closed?
Close the mouth for now. Can you bring?
Hello, David. I am your character. Sorry, I'm going insane. Sorry.
This from the man who literally 5 minutes ago said it's taking a while. Yeah. I mean,
you just said that you were going to spoil our content. I've got to produce it.
What? Can you give me 3/4 cocky and 1/4 snarl, please? I want to see what that brings us. Oh, I quite like that.
That's a real smolder, actually. That's a good. I might do that again. That's a good facial expression.
I quite like that.
Great. Yep. Eyes we're going to have to modify once we've done the pose. So you said you're initially happy with this pose. If you're happy for me to, I might just tweak slightly to get a little bit more dynamism in there.
Yeah, totally. Let's. And if you do anything that makes me scream, I'll scream. Yeah. You'll know that I'm screaming because I will scream.
Because I will be screaming. I scream, you scream, we all scream together.
That's all about that angle. Low Saxon.
Angle.
It's Saturday morning, mate. I don't know what you want.
Abide with me. There we go. That's kind of a good angle. Low Saxon.
Of all the people I would trust to twist my character the right way, it would be you.
It would not be you.
I mean, it would be you up to this point. I mean, we'll see in like 10 seconds. It might not be, but no pressure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I like that. This is really customizable.
It's extraordinary. I mean, I've spent the whole time just raving about this whenever we're doing this because I've been just like a little bit of a lean forward to get a little bit more of that kind of like. Ha!
Can I ask for one thing?
Yes.
Just ever so slight tilt on the skull because that looked cool.
Oh yeah.
Can you tilt it to t'other way? I think so that slightly further back because it offsets against the rapier. You see, you got that nice V shape.
Well, what I was thinking is of having the rapier across the body in a guard.
Oh, in which case I will wait and see what you do before telling you I don't like it.
Oh, great! We spent 40 minutes. I hate it. No, Turn it back.
I love it so far. I just want to give you I want to give you the agency to make me hate it.
Yeah. No, I mean, because after all, what we all really need is more agency for DMs. That's the regular problem is DMs that don't have agency.
Yeah. There's not enough control over their own games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just wait till you see
everything I want.
But Justin, while you're tweaking, how much of a role do you passive checks normally play in your games? Just trying to get an idea here.
Increasingly. They're becoming increasingly common, essentially because I for a long period I was just sort of making people actively roll, and then it was like that always gives the game away. So it's not going to be like, oh, passive checks are absolutely vital and you're going to do something the whole time doing them. But there is going to be there are going to be a few.
Hey, it's a DM tool, man. You use it. It's your discretion. I was only asking because I don't know if you've seen the passives on my character sheet, but enjoy when you do.
Are they disgusting?
Do you want to know my passive perception?
What's your passive perception?
24.
Do you have resistance to blinding?
No.
Right.
Unless by resistance you mean being cool.
Being cool, being badass, There we go. So there we've got a kind of. So we've got the sword still. If we just adjust that wrist a bit, just so we've got the sword still in engagement, so he's not just like, here, stab me in the chest.
I also don't have dark vision, so darkness would scupper it. Ooh, I like it. It's like I'm gonna spell you, and I'm gonna follow up with a nice thrust with good form.
Just so, because the thing is, if the sword's back and somebody was close to you, you'd basically be like, stab here, please. Well, then the sword is still a little bit in engagement.
It's a question of whether the sword is being used as a sword or a light source.
Ah, of course. Ah, yes, that's a point. What do you think? What do you reckon?
I mean, that is a very strong combat-y, I am going to use my sword as a follow-up to the spell that I've just cast, which I don't hate. I think that's very strong. Can we see? I mean, no. I mean, I'm not going to do the whole over-the-shoulder point. I can't remember the fencing terminology for the life of me. I think that's really cool, mate. Honestly.
Well, we were thinking of like a sort of over the sort of a that kind of position.
The classic kind of the stance, whatever it was called.
Oh yeah. Okay, so sort of like
I don't think it'll be right for him, but I am curious.
Well, we can try. I mean, you know, these things. This is a powerful tool, so we can.
I'm genuinely glad you're here, because if you literally said to me, "Oh, just go on and do one of those things," I'd have been like, "Oh, the options." I am overwhelmed.
I know. It does get a bit.
But I think if you can have a play with it, like totally. But then we don't have 5 hours for me to.
Sort of. I mean, that's a bit caged. We'd need to modify that, but sort of getting into this kind of realm. It
would be more sort of over head height almost. But in this event, I think go back to how it was before, mate. I liked it. It makes sense, and it's proper rapier form.
Overhead, so kind of up.
Well, that's kind of cool. That is, somebody is on the ground, and I'm about them.
I'm stabbing myself in the head.
I mean, it happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of us, you know. So that's a sort of initial catch for what that might look like.
It would be a rotation of the shoulder, probably, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Over the clavicle. Is that a kind of vibe, or do you want the rapier down?
Let's go with rapier down, because I think it looks better, and I think it looks more likely to be a position they've been. And I quite like the idea of it being, yes, very nicely posed, but also it could have been taken straight out of combat by a sculptor that he hired to follow him around and tell tales. This is the time I heroically slew 12 giant rats. But sir, there was only one giant rat. No,
and it wasn't giant. It was just a rat.
And it was already dead.
Shut up, John. There we go. How's that? Slightly higher guard. Maybe bring that just in.
Fantastic.
Just in across the body. There we go. How's that?
That looks pretty good to me. Can I just see from the front?
But by front, do you mean the way
from head on to the characters,
well,
and
just going
facing.
To adjust this pauldron a little.
Please do. You are my head of pauldrons.
Yay!
That is rather cool. And can I see from looking at the character's face, so I can get a head-on view of the skull and the rapier and their perspective?
Sure thing, my dude. Just getting.
No, you pauldron physics.
Clipping. It needs to go
down.
There, that looks about right. A little bit of clipping on the shield, but we can adjust the shield very slightly. There we go.
The hair looks all right as well. Like the hair clipping is very, very smooth, so that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, that's really handy. So it just looks like the hair's flowing around. That's kind of cool. And we've also got a little bit of that kind of. It looks like the shield is kind of moving with him, which is cool.
That's angles, Dutch angles, mate. They give dynamics.
Dutch angles.
Can we twist the skull ever so slightly to?
Absolutely.
His right. No. The other way, please. Sorry. No, what do you think? I thought it would look great. I'm not sure I'm sold on it that much. The old twisty spell.
I think if we're going to twist it, it has to be like heavily twisted. So instead of just looking a bit wonky, that now looks properly like, you know?
Yeah. I think that's very cool, and it looks like it. You know, is it a spell? Is it the skull of his enemies? Who needs to know?
His allies. Right. So good. That's the lad posed.
An ally is just an enemy you haven't met yet. Wait, that's wrong.
Wait, what? Let's have a little bit of a lean. There we go. A little bit of a lead. I think that really the kind of chest position is pretty much bang on.
I think so too.
I think there's just that tiny bit more lean there that I've given it. Just gives him that little bit more oomph.
Yeah, it's a nice dynamic.
Yeah. And that's what we want is dynamic. There we go. That's cool. Sick.
Oh, this is all coming together like a well-laid plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, so colour. What skin tone would you like? And again, remember that actually we can either choose one of the presets or we can go in and do it piece by piece.
Well, let's I presume we can take a preset and then tweak it potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be the most time efficient methodology, as long as we can find one that works, obviously. Because
absolutely,
we're going to take our time with this if we need to. I do imagine him as having very much the red hair and the pale skin.
Yep, there we go.
So that's quite a nice base.
So that's a good start. Anything you want to tweak? So eye colour. He's currently green-eyed, quite a bright red hair, and very pale skin. Do you want him to be even paler? Do you want him to have different coloured eyes? Do you want to modify the hair?
Let's start with skin tone. Can I look at what even paler looks like? Because I almost always make my characters completely sort of albino colours when I'm making them in like CRPGs and so on. Just because I really love the sort of Sephiroth silver hair, you know?
Oh yes. So that's current medium light 5. That's medium light 6.
Medium light 5. Medium light 6 looks a little bit too much like I'm actually a vampire in disguise.
Yeah, and so we can actually mix the paints. So if you want like a little bit more blue or a little bit more red in there, or even just to cadge it very slightly paler, we can do that.
Let's make it very slightly paler if we can.
Okay, we'll do that in a moment.
That's fine.
Eyes.
Green works, but let's just see brown as well. But I think probably that the green is fine.
That's
brown is too dark, I think. Let's try what's to the right of brown? Pale blue. Let's have a look at pale blue.
That's...
I think we'll go with the green. I think that looks good.
Yeah, cool. And then hair color.
I mean, this is a good base. Let's just tweak it a little bit and see what we can.
Great. So first things first, let's tweak the skin. So you wanted very slightly paler.
Oh, that's perfect. Well done.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
I always do that. Everyone watching this will see this happen every single time I try to do it. I'm always like, click the thing. Oh, no.
Hey, take ownership of it. People will respect you for it.
Yeah, exactly. It just...
Oh, Justin Clickers.
I turned into a weird kind of Wild West. Oh, Justin Clickers.
I remember when I first saw.
Oh, Justin Clickers down the way he used to. Oh Lord, that man used to click all day, and then we went home for some lemonade.
I mean,
Tennessee Williams.
You jest, but
Tennessee Williams.
I mean, I'm not saying that it is the kind of accent I'm going to use for this character. I'm not saying it isn't.
I'm not saying it's not. Then let's. What kind of lip? Do you want a bit paler on the lips? Or are you happy with where the lips are?
Let's have a quick. This is me staring at the character now. So, can I see slightly paler? Put the high and mid back where they were, and leave the low as being slightly paler.
I don't quite remember exactly where they were, but
that's fine. That's totally good. Don't worry. That looks good.
Hair.
Bit darker.
Currently on paprika red. We just want generally darker, so let's just straight up do the whole thing a bit darker.
That's nice.
There, it's a bit darker.
Bit of russet. Looks like my brother's hair colour now.
Russet. Ooh, very good. Just been playing with the eyes to make sure he's following the line of his death skull. Back to colour.
Slightly cross-eyed otherwise, yeah.
Just there.
So,
we have the general theme, but then we can refine. So you were saying red and black as a colour scheme. So that's like a start point for that?
Yeah, that's a good base. That is a really good base.
So that's a good start. Or were you thinking like dark? Anyway, let's riff from here. So
let's riff from the red.
Make it start. So the bone. What color do you want the skull to be? Do you want the skull to look like bone, or do you want the skull to look like a magical effect?
I think the skull. I mean, as it is, because it has the magical effect coming off it. I think it makes sense for the skull to be white because it looks real cool, like that bone color, or the yellow bone. Ooh. Do we like that?
Or bloody bone.
Do we like that? Because they're all. Can I have a look at green, mate? Bottom left there. No, that's just too snazzy. It's like disco necromancer.
Disco stew.
I have come to curse you to dance to death.
I have come to curse you.
Ooh, that's nice. Two to the right. One to the left. It looks like it's a familiar that would actually sort of speak. No, it's going to be.
Hey!
It's going to be white, I think.
Bright white, yellow white, bloody white.
Let's go with yellow white for now, but I reserve the option to change it based on how this looks. Blue flame.
And the eye sockets.
Oh, the eye sockets. I mean, black looks good. Let's go with blue, actually. The dark blue, yes, dark blue that's two to the left from where it is at the moment. So bottom row and 3 from the right. Perfect.
And you wanted blue flame.
Yes, but Palaz.
I don't know where that is. Where's that option? Gem. Aha, flame. Right, so you want a blue flame.
Ooh.
That kind of vibe?
Double flames. Can we go one darker for original flame? Thank you. And can we go second from the left? No, that looks not bad choice, James. It looked much better before. And then whatever it was before, man. But I think, that looks rather cool.
Okay, that's cool. That also looks very evil cleric.
And hopefully, because it's a nice offset from the color scheme of the armor and so forth.
Yeah.
But it does match the base as well, assuming that is what the base will look like.
Oh no, the base is just going to be like a kind of like a banner.
Oh, fine. Well, in my mind, that fits. Wouldn't work. In which case, can we quickly tweak the eyes to make them blue? Because I think that will really go well with the skull. And then I'm pretty happy. I'd possibly make the flames darker, but actually I think that looks pretty good.
Base darker, end darker, or both darker?
Base darker, I think, because it would blend towards a lighter one, which is quite nice.
It's not working at all.
But it seems to, whenever I make it darker, it seems to just make it quite a matte effect, as opposed to having this lovely blend that you have on. Yeah. So I think it's almost like making the lighter color slightly more dynamic, I guess. And
how's that looking? So we've just knocked that back a touch. We reduced the amount of glow. How's that?
Let's have max glow. And can you tweak opacity for me, please? Is that on flame 2 at the moment?
Yes, that's on the base flame.
Cool. Can you tweak opacity for me on the?
You can make it shiny as well.
Yeah, on the other flame as well, please. And just take it down slightly. Oh no, take it full up. Take it full up. To the max. Yeah, that's it.
And
that's
then
the one.
Maybe a little bit more shininess.
Yes, we love shine. Oh yes,
magic.
Now we're cooking with charcoal.
Oh yes.
Now we've got ribs.
Oh my word! You can modify the glow. Oh my god.
Oh, let's play with that.
Completely new to me. Oh my god, this is unbelievable.
Looking towards the bottom left of the spectrum, I think. Oh, this is fantastic.
Like that?
Yeah, that's great. And it matches the potion bottle, if you noticed.
Ah, spicy.
Stand.
Nice. There we go. How's that right? Sick.
That's great. That's a nice bit of contrast.
Okay, so we've got what's bone to boot. What colour do you want as boots?
The boots. Let's go with a solid black. There's an option for a trim, isn't there?
Yeah. So that's the base boot. That's rogue black, and then the boot collar. So that's boot cuff. That, and then what colour do you want the trim?
Let's go with a nice dark red, like almost a sort of a sanguine.
Kind of vibe? Sanguine, I think. Oh crap.
Red boots. That is a bold choice.
That kind of vibe.
Very nice.
Very nice. Boot sole. We're going to go black. Bottle cork. Remember, we can tweak these colours.
Oh yeah. And if it works out that the red and black doesn't work with the, don't worry. I already have a backup colour scheme in place, so it won't take long.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very nice. I like that.
Cork.
Oh,
is that what you like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep that. Bottle strap.
I think it's cool that you can customize these things, but it makes little difference to me in terms of the character, because it'll basically, this will be tweaked if it doesn't fit with the actual armor color anyway. Let's say a dark brown, the bottle strap, so 2 to the right.
There we go.
Perfect.
Cloth.
Actually, sorry, Justin, can I just see what black looks like? Fine.
The cloth. So it's currently a kind of orangey red. Do you want something a little bit more red?
I think possibly,
So kind of that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Cool. Again, we can modify. I'll come in and tweak that in a minute. Cloth number 2. So this is kind of like the undercloth and the belt, which we can colour separately if you want that to be leather.
Can I have a look at a light grey, please? I'm presuming that I can also do a grey for the trim of the armor, whereas currently.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see that, and let's have a grey for the trim, and just see how it looks.
What kind of grey? A darker grey, a
slightly darker for the trim, so like one shade darker than the
that.
No, light.
Quite green.
Yeah.
What about that? It's a bit different, yeah. I'll do grey day or charcoal.
Very nice. Yeah, that's great.
A little bit of purple as well, which we can pull out if we need to. Trousers.
Trousers will be a very dark, possibly brown, or possibly charcoal again. Because I when it comes to color schemes, I like consistency. That's the thing.
Yeah,
bold choices, because otherwise you can end up with very much a hodgepodge and a mishmash.
I can't be having a hodgepodge or a mishmash.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the browns here are quite warm. So what I'll do is I'll bung on brownie frowny for now, and then we can knock that back later. Flame we have done. Ooh, leather for the braces.
Ooh, nice. This will be either black or red, to be fair.
Black, red.
It's just getting our black. Easy.
Leather number 2, which is there, but we can't really see that. Metal.
Nice. This is going to be, I think, quite a nice base, like gunmetal almost. Yeah.
So let's go. So we want quite a dark, like a dark silver almost. How's that?
Very nice.
That's quite brown. Do you want a little bit more? Actually, I know what we'll do. I'll bung it on as gunmetal, and then we can shine it up if we need to. Metal number 2. Rivets and the binding.
1 to the right of that, please, mate. And again, just getting a bit darker. I quite like I quite like that as a colour. It's just making everything kind of match. But that's a nice little. It's it's seen battle.
Yeah, it's experience. That's cool. Metal 3, which are the studs on the helmet.
I want to have a look at brass, something like that. Because I'm trying to match the guard on the rapier.
Ah, right. I think that might be clockwork gold. How's that?
That looks good to me. By the way, if you see anything that looks to you not right or doesn't, the colours kind of clash slightly, because the way that I perceive colours is slightly skewed.
It's okay. I mean, it's looking good to me.
Sweet.
I was just going to say, like, just kind of all of it really looks like trash. So start again from scratch. No, so the sword blade. Oh, we want it to be glowy blue, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So What I'll do, how glowy blue?
I think very pale. If you can remember, very light blue. But it gives off. If it's the sword I'm thinking of, it gives off light for 15 feet and dim light thereafter. So it's not like a beacon. It's not like a softbox has just walked into the dungeon, but at the same time.
What I'll do is I'll bung it on as light-wish. Nice. And then we can go and tweak that in a minute. Metal 5. So this is this. So we want that matched.
Yep.
Handle.
I let's have a look. Let's have a look at. Yeah, I think matching to be fair, because I think if I change the color to something too vibrant, it's gonna offset against the gold too much.
And then that we want to match as well.
And as much as I love purple and gold, a Byzantine emperor, he is not.
Right, so these are studs and the ring, which we can do separately manually if you want to.
I think black for the ring. I like it as an onyx. And
okay, so I'll change that to be stone. And then for the studs on the shield?
Studs, I would like them to match the helmet and the rapier, if possible.
So...
This is so detailed.
It's extraordinary.
I can't believe that you thought an hour would be enough.
There's an obsidian option, I'm sure.
For flavour, I would imagine this to be, it's people who saw it, who knew what it was, would know what it was.
Yeah.
It's not anything snazzy or jazzy, but it fits the background trait.
What colour do you want the jewel? If you want it indeed to be a jewel.
I think it's onyx set in ebony, mate. So it's black on black.
What I'll do is I'll bung on a wood that we haven't used and then knock it back.
Sweet.
Cool. And we're nearly...
This is really...
Potion bottle?
Together.
Happy with the blue?
It works with the skull. Is it too much of a contrast to the rest of the business?
I personally quite like the contrast, but if you want a different colour, I am well up for that.
It makes sense though, because a potion would just be in the bottle it comes in. It wouldn't necessarily be. Yeah, I think let's keep it. It's a little splash of vibrancy.
Scroll binding. Should we go for black just to match?
Yep.
And then wood on the shield.
Ooh. I like this. Let's look at the white wood, please, and try and get it to match the bone on the skull. What do you think?
I think it looks cool. I mean, it might need a little bit of modification to make sure that...
a bit of tweakage, but as a little sort of colour splash.
I'll choose... Pine is almost identical.
Oh, let's go pine.
Pine, there we go.
Is it a little bit too heroic? No, I think it looks functional. And pine is quite a nice, strong wood, but not too heavy. It'll stop an arrow. It might not stop two.
Only the one you need to stop. Oh,
this is very cool.
That's weird. We have a single little purple blob. I must have misclicked.
Hang on, you can customize it by blob.
Not quite.
Or is there a hole in his gambers?
There's just a weird little, like, for some reason, the lining, there is a bit there. Maybe it's like meant to be like underarm reinforcement or something on the piping.
Yeah. Who knows? It's an arrow wound.
Arrow wound. Good. Okay, so this is him to begin with. Nice. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to do a little bit of modification.
Hey, you play with it now.
Brass buckles. Brass buckles.
Yeah.
And so you wanted darker trousers. So let's knock those right down.
Yeah. But without making the reason I didn't want to make the trousers black is because then you have too much of a block.
Exactly. That looks good. And then let's get that a bit grayer rather than purple. Let's make that a more explicitly grey vibe.
Oh, I genuinely so happy to see this guy together. I honestly I had no idea what to expect. I thought it was going to be cool, but it's just like I can't even hide the fact that I'm just genuinely excited.
Yeah, it is extraordinary. I'm so bloody well here for this. Oh my god! I keep on forgetting that you've got all this. There's so many options.
Oh, you can make it rough. You can make it smooth. You can make the blade glow.
But I knew I could do it rough, but it's like we can have different degrees of roughness. You can spend literally a week in this.
I am gonna have to shift my position slightly, so if the chair creaks, that's just the business.
Okay. Ready, steady, shift.
There we go. That was
sounds like a door from a horror film.
I should sample that actually. It's quite a good.
Yeah, it's a good creak. Sound. Good creak. Grey day again. I think maybe. Do you want that grey lighter or darker?
Let's try it darker. I think it's either going to have to be sort of so. I think I'd like to have it match the sword blade, probably, insofar as it can.
So you want the grey to be a little bit more on the turquoise spectrum?
I think so. I mean, this stuff it's so much about getting the ratios right, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clue how it works in fashion. I'm just like, yeah.
Me neither, my dude. Me neither. So
it can either match the trim as it is, which I think will be fine, and if it doesn't look good, elsewise, I think that's okay because it does create that nice contrast, but it also flows, which is kind of cool.
How's that?
Oh, that's good.
And then if we add in that bit of turquoise again, so thankfully the charcoal is already on the turquoise spectrum. So I mean, this the problem is that the bit where my skill really collapses is when you've got different tones for the low, mid, and high, because that's when it gets really complex. I mean, I tend to go for quite simple, but it's like when it's like brown in the middle, blue on the low, and green on the high, it's like that's when I start to come from together.
I mean, this is why it's great to have things like the presets and the original settings and so on, because like these, I was not expecting these tools to be quite as detailed as they are.
They are pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, like you could be a proper sort of digital artist and
really go nuts.
So much choice. Like,
well, maybe the way to express it is: do you want this grey to be cold or warm? Cold.
Warm or cold? I don't quite understand what you mean by that.
So do you want it to be a kind of warmer, richer grey, or do you want it to be a colder sort of so you know the way that colours have it's hard to describe.
I do think I understand what you mean. Like it's whether it blends or strikes.
To an extent, yeah. It's more just about so like that is cold, but the red is warm.
Oh, sure. In which case, I think more towards the cold end.
Cool. So in which case, we probably want to have this as the kind of base.
Because that gives us a nice potential contrast. That buckler, the shoulder pauldron, looks amazing.
Yeah,
and the bracer looks amazing.
Yeah. I was just about to say, so that's kind of good on the greys. You've got a little bit of blue in the grey as well. Nice kind of blue grey. Are you happy with the red?
I was, but then everything else has now been tweaked. Can we have a quick look at it and see? Because there's so many effects that you can do on the leather and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, do you want it like shiny? Do you want it to look like sort of like polished leather, or do you want it to look like sort of rough leather?
I mean, the shiny looks a bit too much like it's PVC.
Yeah.
I'm Neo from the Matrix, which is fine. A bit more in that's quite nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
A little bit of fuzz.
Yeah, it's been used, this armor. It's been in some battle, and that red, and with the tweaks to the it's suddenly gone very shiny.
Yeah.
With the tweaks to the actual material treatment and so on, I think that color really works very strongly.
Just knocking it back and getting it a little bit more matte, I guess.
So I don't think we need to tweak the color.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's nice and matte now. It looks kind of more like fabric than. Actually, maybe I might even bang up the roughness even more, and even less fuzz to get it kind of. There we are. That's right.
Some people would say I can make my armor look how I want, and some other people would say that really the DM still needs to prove that. But what do people say?
It has been approved. I allow it. I allow it.
Just briefly, Justin, because it's occurred to me. Do you remember you told me the story about the guy who wrote like a 30-chapter character tree?
Oh yeah, Old Man Henderson.
Yeah, you will find that in my character bio, I have justified every single thing I've done with this character, but not in a Henderson way.
That's why I have proficiency in every skill.
Yes. No, I don't have proficiency in every skill.
Just
I have made
just passive perception 23.
Yeah, I've made flavor choices rather than optimization choices, which I think is how it should be.
Yeah. I mean, we all need to optimize a little bit, but
a little bit. Like, I haven't been like, I've put no points in wisdom and I'm a cleric. Like, no, that'd be silly. But I do like to, whenever I do badass things for a character, and this is just my preference, I like to make sure that it is in some way justifiable or explainable in the story or the backstory.
Yeah, totally. I heartily agree. Right, okay, I've just done a little tweak on the leather there. So we're now looking at the leather on the. I mean, I've just modified the leather just a touch. The metal, are you happy with exactly this tone, or do you want it a bit lighter, a bit colder? Because it's currently got a kind of vaguely brownish gunmetal tone. Do you want it a little bit shinier, a little bit silvery, a little bit less? What do you think?
I think if anything, we would make it slightly more tarnished. I think the base color itself I quite like, because I like the way it complements and offsets against the darker browns.
Yeah. I
suppose we could make it match the rapier, but I think that's a little bit too match happy.
How dull do you want it? Because I feel like a little bit of shine just makes it look just a little bit more metallic.
A little bit of shine is grand.
So just a little bit of shine.
But not so you would stand out. Basically, shiny enough to be metallic, dull enough to not automatically fail all your stealth checks.
How's that?
That is good. I'm a fan.
Good. Maybe I'll just tiny bit. There we go. Just to make him look a little bit more metallic and a little less. I guess a little bit more like armor rather than like fittings on a rifle or something.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm a big fan.
And then for this, do we want anything changed there?
For the helm, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think for the rivets, we'll leave them as they are. I think possibly we can make the helm match what you just did for the shield, because I think that would be quite cool.
Okay, so that's already been matched. I mean, the kind of cross.
Oh yeah, the cross bit. I think I like it as it is, to be honest.
Cross bit, like CrossFit. And then happy with the studs, happy with that. Now we just need to do the ring. So you were thinking of a kind of obsidian vibe.
Yeah. So kind of shiny but dark.
So let's shine that up.
I mean, you can tell I know nothing about jewelry.
Let's modify these colors. So for obsidians. probably completely wrong color tones for obsidian, but fuck it.
I mean, it can be whatever.
It can be whatever you like.
This is the ring that gives me proficiency in everything.
Have you given your character the one ring?
It was given to me by a halfling I met on the road. It's in my backstory.
He said he was. He said he was bored of it. We want that. You said, what did you think? So you want it to be kind of like, yeah, let's drop that.
Ooh, yeah. A nice sort of reddy blacky is quite nice.
Okay, yeah. So let's have that. Just the faintest.
Just a little.
Faintest touch of.
Tadley Taddleson.
How's that?
Very. No, yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Superlative. And now all we need to do is the sword blade, and then I believe we're done. So I'm just gonna get that a little bit more turquoisey, and maybe make that a little bit lighter. Just bump all that up, slightly shinier, and then let's get that glow going. We want that kind of lovely.
There's one thing I'd actually just noticed. The gold effect on the sword, so the what's it called, the guard and the handle.
Yeah.
Can we make that metal the same color as the base metal on the helm rather than the rivets?
Yeah, of course.
Because I think that would be a better ratio. Although I don't, it's not bad if it stands out on its own, but I think that would look really sweet. And then yeah, you're right, just the blade. Ooh.
How's that for a nice sort of glowy sword?
Oh, that is immense.
I have no idea what that's going to look like in on 3D print, because I don't think I've seen the glow effect before, so I'm very excited. Yeah. So the base metal.
Yes. So the what's it called? The crossguard can still be the light, but basically everything that was the gold color would be the. The gold color. Sorry,
yeah. It's just suis un fool.
No, undo.
So I just need to. Oh crap! Right, bear with.
It's all right. Control Z.
Yeah, I don't know.
If only that was the way.
I don't know where the undo button is, sadly. So I'm just going to have to.
That's all right, buddy. So if the bits that were gold can go to the same sort of color as the helm if they can, and that kind of shine, and then the sort of the crossguard I think would work well as the gold. If you see what I mean.
Oh right.
So the gold is the accoutrement rather than the non-accoutrement.
So like. So do you mean like that?
Just the crossguard. So everything else to be the that kind of metallic. Oh, of course, I'm pointing. You can't see. What an idiot.
How's that?
The same color as the helm. Yeah.
Like that.
That is perfect, and just the little T in the middle, so between the two bits that are gold, that can be gold as well. Actually, does that look good? Eesh. Should it all just be the same metallic? What's your thought, mate?
I mean, so now that I've added the outer rim of the cup gold, I think that works a bit better.
Yeah. Is it better than it was?
I think that looks good.
Oh yeah, because it looks like you've got a handle. Okay, cool. And then the bit that's between the crossguard, then just turn that back to the brown. So between the two T's, if you like, that bit. I think that's good because it looks like you got handle ornamentation.
Right. Yeah, that looks right. Right, is this how? Oh crap! Something happened there. No idea what's happened there.
Oh. It's just got...
Yeah, it changed the blue. Oh, I must have clicked on it by accident. How's that? You wanted that darker, didn't you?
Just slightly, if you can.
Because it's got a lot of glow on it. Just a minute.
That's actually pretty good. just to kind of match the
there we go. How's that?
potion bowl. That's brilliant, mate.
What if I put the inner eyes the same color as the glow? That's a please no pause. There.
I prefer the dark because it looks as though it's being slightly the color is being slightly impeded by the back of the skull.
I see.
So it's a kind of shading effect, and just the.
In which case, let me just adjust that so that we have a little bit of feeling like it's a bit more
absolutely
like shading rather than a separate color.
And then you will be pleased to hear there is
that?
just one more thing that I would like you to do. That is great.
And what is the last thing you would like me to do?
The last thing I'd like you to do is the brown on the sword near the handle. And I'm happy to be led by you by this, because at the moment I think it looks like wood, which is pretty cool. Should it be metallic in the same way as the helm, or does the actual brown work well in terms of with the shield and the pauldron? Because I was going to say make it metallic, but actually now it kind of looks like it works.
So if I modify that to this color, then we end up with sort of that sort of vibe. So option 1.
Yeah.
Option 2.
Oh, I like them both. Do you have tie-breaking vote goes to you, mate?
I quite like the slightly shinier blade, just to show that it's a slightly fancy blade.
Yeah. All right.
Well, here he is. So his name is... All right. How do we spell his name?
Aldryn is spelt. That is a very good question. A-L-D-R-Y-N.
We're just going to save him as Aldryn.
Perfect.
There we go.
Mate,
here he is.
That was such a fun process.
There he lieth. Fantastic. Okay. Well, I need to do the outro. So here he is, looking absolutely badass. We've got a cracking looking party. I'm really happy with how all the minis have turned out. There we go. Looking sick. Right. So just to do the outro, just to reiterate, I am Justin Wells. I'm going to be DMing Vile Shadows and a Honeyed Smile, D&D 5e custom adventure, and I'm going to be doing that on Tuesdays in December with Roll Together. We've had here David Shears making his character Aldryn on Hero Forge, and we look forward to meeting him in the flesh. So thank you very much. Much love. Catch you on the flip-flop. Which is the thing I say now, apparently. Don't know where that came from, but I'm saying it now, and I'm sticking with it.
You do you.
Me do me. See ya. See you soon.